Hello, my name is Stephanie Cherono. I'm a professional makeup artist, recent author, entrepreneur, and a content creator on Instagram. And I'm about to have a great conversation at the Orange Connect.
Welcome to another episode of the Orange Connect. My name is Kevin Maina, your one and only host. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Please remember, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do, because it allows us to bring in more dope guests, like the one in front of me, Stephanie Cherono.
What an intro. What an
It's
intro.
because we just had another episode from
Hey,
the
Yani,
zone.
you've done it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in the zone.
Stephanie Cherono is my name.
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
I have to be honest, I never once thought that I'd be seated right in front of Stephanie
Same
Cherono.
here.
I don't know why,
Why?
but in recent times we have grown fonder, and we have. Were you not agreeing with me? Am I the one who has
I
been?
mean, fonda is like an interesting word to use. I'd say
Okay,
closer, but like.
close. Okay, it's not fonder, it's close. Okay. Been getting close,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Yeah.
So, as has been our traditional for season 2, we asked our audience to send in dilemmas that they may have. A lot of them is whether I'm single. That's not a dilemma, guys.
Are you?
So we'll start with the first one. Stephanie Cherono, let's
Yes.
help the audience.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it's why we are here for them.
All right.
So the first one, and then I'll give you to read the second one.
Okay.
I disagree with my family's expectations for my future career path. I've experienced that. How do I assert my independence while still respecting their opinions? You'll ask the second, as you think about that.
I disagree with my family's expectations for my future career path. I have been there as well. How do I assert my independence while still respecting their opinions? Communicating. I think communicating just saves a lot of chaos and just disagreement generally. I think even for me, as I was venturing into being a creative, being a makeup artist, I had just to communicate. Of course, it meant that I had to communicate the same thing over and over
I can imagine
and
that
over
conversation.
and over
Wow.
again. And for a while, I wasn't supported, and then eventually they joined the bandwagon, and they're like, "Okay, cool. We can see now that there's fruits to your labor." Then, sasa wacha tukusaidie. But just communicating and also putting to account the fact that they're your parents, they're your family, and you need to still have relationships with them. So
Yeah.
communicating in the sense that this is something I care about, I still want to pursue it, but in the same breath, I still want to maintain a relationship with you. So if there's a way we can make the two gel,
Coexist.
yeah. So whatever the response comes from, that is not generally like in your control, but like the fact that you've taken the initiative to loop them in. I think it's just the best thing to do, and then you just hope for the best from there.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I've been in the same situation as well. And I think communicating helps, but you also have to show.
Yeah,
I feel
it has to be
it's just
backed up.
communicate, but you have to show. It's okay to still venture into what they're encouraging you to venture in,
Yeah.
but show them the fruits of what you're trying to
Or
achieve.
even a plan.
Or even a plan.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that you can even see how they can be able to support you within the scopes of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dilemma number 2.
that's dope. How do I politely let my friends know that I can't afford to try out new restaurants every other week?
Interesting. How do I politely let my friends know that I can't afford to try out new restaurants every other week? Okay, so here we're talking about finances.
Yeah.
And I think if they're friends, if it was going to be a partner, that
Yeah.
would have been a different thing.
Yeah.
But if it's your friends, I think again, communicating.
Yeah.
If you're friends with people that you can trust and you can talk to, just tell them. Like,
Yeah.
guys, for me, I can only try out this new restaurant on this date of the month.
Once I've received my salary.
Because that's when I'm paid. That's when I'm budgeting my outing. So on that day we can explore. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and I think even as you're evolving, and like I have majority of my friends are creatives, and we get paid at different times.
Yeah.
So there are times of the month where the money is there, and there are times of the month that the money is not there. And if they're truly your friends and they want you to enjoy the experience of this new restaurant, sometimes they can just pick up the bill for you, and you can also explore that as an option. That maybe you pick up the bill this time, and then when
Yeah.
I get paid, I can pick up the bill, or just support generally if at all they want to make memories with you.
I like that.
Yeah.
We agree on that.
Yeah.
The next one, which is interesting, how do I break up with someone when I still deeply care about them?
Why do you want to break up with them?
Oh, me, I can answer this question because I understand. Sometimes you can love someone,
And
but
still need to let.
circumstances don't allow for that relationship to thrive.
Okay.
So, what I would say with that is, first of all, lead with that. It's like, I love you.
Oh, I did that recently.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Okay, so you deeply care about this person,
Yes, I do.
but you had to let them go.
Yes, and it's because I think with the season and the year that I am anticipating to have, I don't think I should be in a relationship. And also with my journey spiritually, there are certain things that just don't align anymore.
Okay.
And the same thing, the way I'm telling you is what I said. I was like, I just don't want to put you in a space where I could potentially start detesting you because of the expectations that I may have of you that are
Yeah.
not aligning with the goals that I have at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
And in the same breath, I'd rather tell it to you now before things get too serious or too complicated and I'm not able to leave because also people pleasing is a thing.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, the reception was good, but not anymore because
Okay.
I'm not being talked to.
Oh, right now you're cut off.
Yeah.
It hit them.
But it's
Actually,
okay.
quite
It's
serious.
okay. It's just, it's also, I think a relationship is good when both of you are in the same space
Yeah.
and you're both aligned in goals, in values, in expectations, and also just based on the path that you guys are willing to take or anticipating to take individually and
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was just not aligning. And
Okay.
I had to communicate that as soon as I felt it, as soon as I realized it.
So communicate. I
Yeah.
think the other part of that is expect any reaction, but
Yes.
just be very stand on
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
and
You
be
need
firm.
to stand on business. We are stopping people pleasing.
Okay.
We're living that in 2023.
Stephanie Cherono, I'm so glad that you're here, and now I want to get deep, dive deep,
Deep
deep
dive.
dive, deep,
Deep dive.
deep, whatever
You?
it is. You get my point. I want to dive in to the
Yeah. Okay.
conversation, and the first one is:
Okay.
you are a professional makeup artist and a content creator, and an influencer, and a mother. No, okay,
I
and
don't
an
know.
author.
I don't have any kids, bro.
Cool. I was
What?
just confirming. And an author.
I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I always believe to understand someone, you have to understand the context of their background.
Okay.
Is this something that you always wanted to do growing up?
No.
Okay. What did you want to do
I
growing up?
wanted to become a banker like my dad because I really like wanted to just venture into that space.
Okay.
When I was like admiring him, then I stopped. And then
Oh, you stopped admiring him.
yes.
Interesting.
And I used to be a tomboy also like when I was younger.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that you are now.
Of course not. I mean, look
Yeah.
at me. But like I slowly started like morphing into a woman and my needs changed and I started like watching tutorials and then my love for makeup came because it was such a nice escape for me at the time. And again I fought for that until I was able to make it something that I could live
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Interesting, because I wanted to ask where the makeup is, and I'm glad that you mentioned it
Yeah.
into morphing.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to admiring your dad.
Yeah.
What changed?
So my mom and dad separated a long time ago. But like because he was a banker at the time when I was like aware of his presence, I was like, I wanna be like him, like he's a banker, he has all this money, let's do this.
I want the money.
Yeah. And I think my expectations of what a banker looks like were different because I was just admiring the money,
Yeah.
the stable lifestyle that was coming with that. And I think as I grew older, I realized then that was just me almost like sorting for validation because I was like, if I do something like him, then maybe he'd like me. And it just changed after I realized a lot of trauma that came from my relationship with him and just the separation of my parents as well. It dawned on me, a good
Yeah.
one, as an adult. And I was like, okay, I genuinely don't think I
Makes
want to do
sense.
that. Yeah.
So, what did you do in Campo?
I did IT and now I'm doing marketing.
You did IT and now you're doing marketing.
Yeah.
So tell me about the conversation of like trying to explain to your mom or your parents
Yeah.
that I don't want to do what I studied.
Yeah.
Because I've struggled with that. Here's the thing. I wanted to do BCom as well because my dad,
Did become.
he did BCom and
Yeah.
literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And then at some point, something happened as well in the family. And I was like, So I ventured into creativity and all that.
Yeah.
And even what I did in high school, in campus, I still held on to it whilst exploring everything else.
Yeah.
And there are times I've thought, if I can just put all my muscle into what I want
Where
to
would
do,
you be?
you know,
But also, you're doing so well, so.
so far so good.
Yeah.
So I want to understand that conversation. How was it?
For,
And
for me, I'm just as cutthroat as I am in with my friendships,
Okay.
and you've experienced that. Like
Yes, I have.
I really don't know how to like maneuver through the truth. I'm like, this is it. Take it, Ama, you leave it.
You leave it.
Yeah. So like I remember when I first got my job at Mac, because I worked at Mac between 2017 and 2018. I told her when they like kulipa fees, but just know, yeah, I'm not in school. I'm taking this job.
Yeah.
And it was just as easy as that. And I remember my mom, because she's very prayerful, she prayed about it. And she was convinced that, because she had prayed about another job that I had and actually lost it. So when it came to Mark, she was like, okay, so imekuja tena, now what do we do?
Okay.
Let me let her do it. And initially, it was like a push and pull situation where she wanted to see, okay, so now you've been here for a year, what is the plan? And I was like, I want to see if there'll be growth within a year. If there won't be, then I'll leave and I'll become a freelance
And you
makeup
did.
artist. And I did.
Risk taking all over the place.
And I really admire that version of me, because right now I'm slowly getting there. And that day I was thinking about it, I was like, I think I'm getting back to like that babe who just was like, I believe in it, I'll do it.
Yeah, because
Regardless of.
for me, I'd ask, because I've always held back out of that fear
Yeah.
of like, I'm not sure. So I need to hold on to my backup.
But are you ever sure?
That's the thing, you're never
Kevin, are
sure.
you ever
But
sure?
I think it's the stability, just knowing that there
Yeah.
is. So where do you think that comes from for you? And how, when you're making these decisions, how
Yeah.
sure are you?
I was sure about my love for makeup. That's the only thing I was sure of.
Okay.
And I think by the time I was leaving Mac, I had created like an audience. I think I had like maybe 10K, 20K
Okay.
followers.
Okay.
So I was like, I think I can. And I had a strategy. Before I left, I started doing like makeup looks for my followers and my clients at the store for like 1,000 bob.
Okay.
So I was really planning my exit.
Yeah, your exit.
Yeah, and I was letting people know, okay, now I've done your makeup, let people know that they can book me outside of the store, and these are my prices. So I already had like a grounding in regards to like people knowing that I'm doing makeup.
Yeah.
When I left, I made a public post on my social media and I was like, now you can book me for, your makeup, your graduations, your weddings, whatever. I got you. And I was able to make it a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Should start doing that. Started writing poems for people in vows
What I?
for the
That's
audience.
dope.
So that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah. And you can never be so sure, friend.
Yeah.
You have
'Cause
to
it
do
will
it.
always.
And also that will box you. Yeah. The more you think, okay, I need stability so I can take this step, you'll just stay there. Because will you ever feel
Because your focus will always be.
stability and not growth?
But as a guy, it's different.
I understand, but
It's
also you're young enough to take those risks now. If you're like a child or like a family you're taking care of, then those situations obviously need a little bit more planning.
Yeah.
But because you're alone, take the risks now. And even those are stories you can tell the kids, like, when I did this, I did
Yeah.
that.
So for you, it's for the story. It's for the plot.
I always say I want a
Yeah.
good story because I want to write a book about like an autobiography about my life eventually, and I want to make it as spicy as possible.
I mean, talking about books, we have something here that we're gonna dive deep into. But I always say, looking back at my life, I found that what really drives me, or what has driven me up to say now, where it's changing,
Yeah.
was always a scarcity mindset of like, I don't want to be in a position where I can't do something.
Yeah.
And when I interact with you, when I watch your content, there's a sense of drive that I can just feel that
Yeah.
oozes, and I'm always curious to understand what is that? Because you can decide to just be, hey, I'm young, I'm
Yeah.
pretty, I'm a
I was
student.
literally like in the car driving here, and I was like, "Thank you, God, for the fact that you've given me good students." Because I started doing makeup classes this
Yeah,
month,
yeah.
and I've now met all of them because I took 3 students. I've now met all of them and they're all such amazing people. So I was like, okay, now how much money, fuel? And I said, cut that shit. Stephanie's not scarcity, abundance. And I literally just switched immediately. And I was like, because of the fact that I'm able to have this as a source of income now, outside of content creation, outside of makeup artistry, and now I've added another one. I was like, you didn't have this money last month. You didn't have this money last year. So it makes you think it's not going to create a portal for you to earn more. So cut that shit and move on. And I switched to the music and I was just like, I'm going to have a good time and also have great energy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get the point when I say about scarcity driving you,
Yes.
then abundance and making
Exactly.
that.
So
Yeah.
it has to be like a mindset switch. Like you have to catch yourself every single time you think, oh, I think I can't do this. But what makes you think you can't do it? Who said? And you might as well try and fail. Because I've also gotten remarks on this book, which is a great achievement. But like I know that the next second edition of this book will be more detailed and more personalized because now I've got it feedback. But I'm not going to look at it as, oh my God, after printing all those books, oh my God. No, it is, I've gotten feedback. It is out there. Now I know I can write, I can publish, I can get all these things.
Interesting.
And now I can switch it up and make it more like a more detailed and personalized book.
It's like a well thought out process. But I'm still curious. What's your biggest fear? In regards to life, just in regards to life. And I'm asking this because I read someone that was saying, if you don't know what you want in life, think about your biggest fear, then think about what's on the other side of that fear. That's what you want.
I just don't like to be stagnant. For me, stagnation is just like a fear. Poverty is a fear, but also I I tend to feel like a fire ever so often. Whenever I'm in a space of like my routine is going well and I am standing on business,
Stagnation.
I'm able to just know that there's more. If I can be able to do this, like even when I started working out, I was like, okay, so let me if we worked out for a year. So how much more can I do in this space? I can now work on my nutrition. There's always so much more for me to do, but I'm always just afraid of stagnation.
Why?
I just don't want
Because
to be.
stagnation sounds like stability.
It does, but I just know I'm capable of more. You know, there's just that innate feeling. And I think also it's validated by the fact that I've been through so much. And if I'm able to like get over that situation and get to this space, and I'm like, okay, now what does that look like on the other end when I get over this season and move to the next season? I also just want to see what heights of success I can achieve. I'm like, if I'm already this ambitious and beautiful and fit and healthy, then what does that look like with an addition of like other things? If I'm starting mentorship and like if I start at school, if I start, publishing another book,
Yeah.
what does that look like? And also, what version of me is expected to fit into that persona? So I always work in regards to like my personality and my me as a person and as Chero. And then now we look at, okay, so now this version of Chero that we're trying to work towards,
can we
what
build?
can she achieve?
Interest.
Yeah.
It's like Jenga. It's like a
Yes.
building.
Yeah.
And I think that's the easiest way to start or do anything.
Exactly.
It's like stop thinking about all that you have not done. Start thinking about what you can do
What
and
I
then
can
build
do.
from that.
And I think that's why I stopped even comparing myself to a lot of creators. I stopped comparing myself to makeup artists. And I was like, if there's any way I can help you, I'll help. But I'm not going to sit down and think, oh, she's done this. Now I cannot be able to do this. I'm like, I know that God has written my book and it's finished.
Yeah.
Like my life has to the end where He said, I have finished. She'll come and join me on this date. So how am I making sure that whatever He's written, the possibilities of my successes and the evolution of my life can be achieved and can be met?
Yeah.
And I think I always think of, you are in this situation in 2020. You got over that situation. You learned something. You're in this situation now. What can you learn in this season so you can take it up to the next season? And what can you learn in that season and take it up to the next season? Which I always say, like, I think 30-year-old me would be so sexy, so financially stable, and so successful because of the steps that I'm taking to work towards whoever that person is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie, like every time I interact with you, and I'm saying this because I'm thinking deeply about it, there's always a calmness
Yeah.
to your presence. It's like you're so, I don't want to say like you're so chilled or
'Cause I'm
too
not.
chilled too, but it's like you're calm.
Yeah.
You're just yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to, for someone who struggles with like always being fidgety, always thinking about things going wrong or not being
Yeah.
perfect, I'm curious whether that's something that you've always had, like a constant in your life.
No.
Or what was the shift for you? Because you talked about comparing yourself.
Yeah.
Which I know for someone to change that as a mentality, there has to be something that sort of sprouts so
Yeah.
that it can affect your whole paradigm altogether.
I generally just think it's exhausting. Kevin, it's exhausting to compare myself to an artist, to another creative, to whatever. It's so exhausting to always think that there's someone else who's experiencing your dreams and you're not. It's just so tiring.
Yeah.
And that led to so much anxiety. And I've not had a panic attack in like almost a year because I just stopped. I stopped assuming that if I go to this direction where this person has gone, then maybe that is where I need to be. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to just steer the course and see what this journey looks like. And I think for me, just being uneasy and constantly like panicking and constantly worrying is not something that I wanted to like carry forward, because
Yeah.
that was always me. I'd always panic, I'd always worry, and I'm like, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? What is it? But it's also a mindset, because the
But
more
was there like a moment?
I think last year when we did my book launch,
Oh, last year.
last year is when I think I had the final leg of that.
Wow.
Because the whole time, with even my partnership with Shivaz, I always just had imposter syndrome, because
Yeah.
I was like, no, look at these superstars, bro. Like, what the hell
I
is
remember you
happening?
telling me
I
about
told
that,
you, and
yeah.
I was like, it just doesn't make any sense to me the why they chose me.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is even on my vision, but is the courage to show up the same way other people see me. I want to show up the way you see me. So if you view me as a very stable, calm, very insightful and knowledgeable babe,
Yeah.
why the hell am I not showing up as that? Yet you see it and you're not me. So I was like, and I was constantly being encouraged by like the PRK members, and they're like, we chose you for a reason. So it's just up to you to show us that we made the right decision.
Yeah.
Right. And I sat with Calligraph at a dinner, and he was like, they never made a mistake. And I remember, and he was telling me, the reason why I am where I am is because I was literally affirming myself every time. It's like, how many times have you heard me sing I'm the dopest rapper in Kenya? And I said, in every song you say that. And it's like, exactly. Even when I was doing Ojoleba, the remix, that time,
Yeah.
I thought I was the baddest rapper then. And I wasn't. I was beginning. But that I've ended up manifesting it because I consistently told myself that I'm deserving of whatever is happening in my life. And I said, you know what, it's a switch. So when they were able to, or willing to, sponsor my event, I was like, oh shit. So they actually see it, and I need to see it as well. I said, this imposter syndrome, this
Has to
fear
go.
has to stop, because
Yeah.
this was and I think that was God just trying to prove to me that you're worth everything that you think you're not. And I said, God, if there's something that I want you to take away, is a fear of not showing up as me.
Yeah.
Is a fear. Even yesterday, I had thoughts, and I was like, oh my God, what is Kevin going to ask me? And I said, you know what? There's a reason why he wants me on the podcast.
Yeah.
He thinks I have valuable information to offer.
100%.
And that's that. And I said, and even to add on to that, I just practice being present. Like, I know I'm here with you. I'm not thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
I'm right here. If I was worrying, then maybe I'd be like, oh my God, what do I have to do next after this? And it will rob us of this experience.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely feel it.
Yeah.
And you do show up the way I view you.
No, that's
It's
dope.
like on this pedestal. So let's talk about your book, Stephanie Cherono, Personal Makeup Mastery Workbook.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, I was like, ay, ay, ay. Why are you giving everyone your tips and secrets? And that comes from a point of like,
Scarcity.
yeah, it's like I have the information. You have to book me.
Yeah, exactly.
So at what point do you realize that you need to work on this book
I didn't even know it was gonna be a book.
as a makeup artist?
I didn't even know it was gonna be a book.
Okay.
My aim was to start teaching.
Okay.
I was like, I've hoarded my skills and my knowledge
Yeah.
for a long time because of the fear of not doing it right.
Right.
And I even told, I was having this conversation with my mom, and I was like, I think I just need like a guide, a small guide. So as I'm teaching, they're able to look through a course book. And I gave an example, and I was like, when you go to high school, primary, whatever the case may be, you're given a Kiswahili textbook in a Kiswahili class.
Yeah.
You're given a math textbook in a math class. And I was like, I'd like my classes to be as detailed as I'm teaching you about foundation, then you have the theory part of it in a book.
Oh yeah, because there's the practical.
There's practical,
right.
and then there's theory.
Yeah.
So in July, I just started writing on Canva, just slowly, and I was just like, okay, so now what do we start? I said, okay, foundation and everything, then eyes, and then techniques and whatever. And by the time I was done, and I showed my mom, she was like, you need to make this a book. I said, why? She's like, need to make it a book. you need to publish it, and you need to own the rights.
Yeah.
So I had to go through the copyright process and everything. And I shared this as a by the way with guys from PRK, and I was like, yeah, I just have a book. They're like, okay. And I was like, I'm trying to make a website so I can sell the book. They're like, okay. So how can we get this mix that we can launch it? And everything just happened when it should and how it should have happened. And I'm still in awe of the fact that that happens. Every single time I go back to my page and I'm like, wow, that was nice. And it's just the beginning of launching, because of course that launch would have been better, but I love the fact that it happened because now it has steered the ship of many other launches.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like from one tiny seed to every other.
Yeah.
So would you say this is, because I wanted to ask you, what's like the most grateful thing you are of in regards to this journey? Could you say like this is the momentous step that you took in regards to your career as a makeup artist?
I think my career is solely tied to me being me. So I feel like showing up 100% as myself has helped do other things.
Okay.
So I feel like that is the focal point. But yes, having this book, having a website has been a great achievement for sure. And if anything, the minute it happened, I said, soak it in, enjoy it, but then what is next? What are we doing next?
Yeah.
And I reached out to the people that I sent the book to, and I asked for feedback. And I was like, I want to know what I can do better, because it's just the first edition. I want to know what I can do better for the second edition.
Yeah.
And I think also knowing that niliacha kujigamba.
Yeah.
I also stopped speaking from a point of pride. And I was like, I don't know everything. There's also someone who knows more than I do, and there's someone who knows less than I do.
Right.
So I am the steering ship for that person, and I'm also, this person is my mentor, basically. So what can I do to get to that level? And then I'll pull other people in, which is why my classes are personal, because I want to know you outside of the need to learn how to do makeup. I want to know what.
It's a whole process,
Yeah.
making someone feel comfortable.
And the first classes have been so insightful, because I've been bonding with them, knowing what spaces they're in, what mental space they're in, what career they have, and also just pouring into them, because I'm very good at that. I literally affirm the hell out of my people, and you can be an attest to that.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing people like seeing themselves in a different light because
Okay.
of their interaction with me. So I think just I'm slowly getting the courage to show up as myself, and I think that is what is sprouting into other things.
That's so interesting to me, because I
Yeah.
feel like you have mastered it, but to hear you say that you're slowly getting there
Yeah.
is crazy. So if you weren't doing makeup, what would you be doing? Have you ever thought about that?
I'd probably actually pursue IT, because I was really good at coding.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's just that it was boring. And I'm also pretty good at math. So like it wasn't that difficult for me to like
Okay.
merge the two.
Yeah.
But I would hate to earn a lot of money but being sad. And I like the chase. I like the chase that I have to do more in this space so I can earn the living that I actually want to earn. I
Yeah.
like it. But like with IT, it's I did IT because my brother did IT and got a first class, and I was like, oh, so maybe I can get a first class. No. But like I wasn't happy with it. But ideally maybe I'd be like a web developer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I want to get into some general questions.
Wrap up.
Yes,
Don't do
apparently.
that.
No? We can go on for hours? She doesn't want to leave, guys.
Okay.
All right. So I thought about this question when I was coming here. And you mentioned something about you leaving a relationship.
Yeah. It wasn't even a relationship. It was like a talking stage.
Oh, damn. You're throwing this guy under the rug. Huh?
Oh no, I'm being serious. I'm being
It
honest.
was like, at some point I was dating Stephanie Cherono.
No, it was
then-
we were getting to know each other.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
just. Do you remember your first date?
Yeah.
How was that like?
Oh, the jitters, the butterflies, it was cute. But that guy is just a menace. But it was nice.
Okay.
It was like a young love. Actually, it was my first love.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. And we actually thought we were gonna like spend the rest of our lives together.
And then?
He still does think that we're gonna spend the rest of our life together. But I had to like block that chapter and
Do you
that
still
channel.
talk to your exes?
No, I don't do that.
Why?
I just don't.
Do you guys live off at a bad note, Ama?
There's some that are good, but there's some that are bad. But I also just like living boundaries. It's just I don't want you to ever think that you have access to me like that. Is there like access in regards to like you can ask for help, or if you're like
Can ask for makeup tutorial.
yes, I can even do makeup for your girlfriend. for her wedding
Oh, yeah?
or something. Yeah, that's cool. But like, we're not chatting on a regular.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that.
All right. So that's in your personal journey. What challenges have you faced and overcome that are attributed to your growth as a makeup artist and digital creator? So that's in your personal journey. What challenges have you faced that have sort of attributed to your growth, or you're faced and overcome that have attributed to your growth as a human being, also just in your career?
I can start with like my mental health. Like, I struggled with suicide for like a couple of years, and I think just the fact that it was like an option for a while that I wanted to take, and I was like, where am I? Where is the strength? I didn't have the strength to like tackle issues. Like, something could not go my way, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm such a failure. Why am I here? And it would spiral all the way down to like wanting to take my own life, which is why I got this tattoo. It
What
says
does it say?
continue.
Continue. Oh.
But the semicolon stands for like mental health and suicide. And the minute I got it, because initially how I thought I would off myself was like slitting my wrist. So I had to get it here so that every single time I think about it, this is what I see, and it gives me the urge to continue. Right. So I think once I got the momentum of, oh, we're actually continuing, I was like, that was a solid milestone for me. And the fact that I'm able to bring myself back to reality and understand that this journey of life, you will fail at some things,
Yeah.
and you will win at some things. But everything is constantly working in my favor regardless.
What changed your mind? What was there a shift? What?
It just gets really dark really fast, and having to constantly be dipping into that darkness, because as a solution became a pattern that I had to like work on in therapy, and also having conversations, honest conversations with my family about like how my mind used to operate at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also I lost a friend to suicide, and I just couldn't have that as an option anymore. And he was literally my desk mate in Strathmore. Yeah. So when that happened, I was like, okay, so now if I was going through it and he decided to, end his life in that way, then I have to at least try for him.
I'm glad that you're still here. Let
Yeah.
me give you a high five. This is the fourth time we're talking about therapists in this channel.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it on. It's clear. It's a sign.
It's a sign.
The Lord is communicating.
Yeah, you need to talk
and
about
I'm in
your
the pits.
feelings.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do you nurture your own sense of self-confidence? Because you pretty are.
Oh, really? Stop it.
Yeah. And so forth in an industry that often emphasizes on appearance and has a crazy standard of what societal beauty looks like. How do you reinforce your own confidence? Is it something that you have when you're even talking to your students and telling them, first of all, know that makeup is not everything?
Literally, I said that today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I said that today.
Thank you.
I said that today, and I was like, I want you to view yourself as this is just a canvas,
Yeah.
but it needs to be inner work more than outer work. I was like, this makeup will just be a canvas, literally just a painting.
Yeah.
But what is happening inside? Are you rotting? Are you rotting inside background? Or are you flourishing that makes it even the makeup look better? Now, what I think I'd say, God, man,
Yeah.
I'm going to a belly, friend. Like, I think the confidence that I have in him transfers to the confidence that I have in myself. That number one. Number two, I affirm myself every chance I get, Kevin. Like when I got my head done, I said, child, Babiana. I said, we've checked in,
Yeah. Celine Dion vibes. Do you see her?
Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tend to remind myself constantly how far we've come from, and the fact that I've been able to show up as this person right now, then you're doing well. And I think for me, the biggest thing is I don't want to lose myself in the whims of social media. If I'm be the last person left that is authentic and real, so be it.
So be it.
Because it is a lot of work to be another person.
You know, that's something that I'll remember throughout. You're getting exhausted, bro.
It is a
Chill.
lot of work to try and be someone else and show up as someone else. The reasons why we've been graced with the opportunities that we have is because of our personalities. So why change it and then lose opportunities that you could have based on your personality? I think it's just the culmination of the two.
Yeah.
I'm slowly growing in my faith, but in the same breath, it is allowing me to show up as myself. And that is today I'm loud, tomorrow I'm chilling.
You're chilling on the Orange Connect, sitting on pillows.
Exactly. And it is what it is. Like that days, and depending on how I'm feeling, I'll show up as that.
I love that.
Yeah, Godfidence.
I love that. God hashtag. So, what are the actual practices do you incorporate, or rituals? Not rituals or practices. I know you work out
Yeah.
like crazy. I started as well.
And
It's
you joined
been,
the 5 a.m. club, bro.
I did. You remember that I DM'd you
You
and I was like,
literally
I'm
did.
struggling
I need to wake up, and I
I
said
need to.
just
And I think me telling you that, you see how
accountability.
me just telling you that,
Yeah.
I remember I was like, you're never going to wake me up.
Exactly.
Because I'm making sure I wake up before
So
you
I
think
see it
about.
and I'm like,
Yeah, so I'm trying.
I love that.
So apart from that, which I know you do,
Yeah.
into your daily life to prioritize self-care and maintain emotional well-being amidst a demanding career like yours that is always here and there. So what other things apart from working out?
I can tell you how my morning looks like. I'd go to the gym at 5, come back by 6, have my breakfast at like 7.
So at 5, you wake up,
I wake up at 4:30.
woke up at 4:30.
Yeah, by like I whisper a short prayer. By like 4:45, I'm out of the house. 5 in the gym. I'm there for like an hour 30. 6:30, I've left. 7, I'm in the gym. I'm at home rather. Once I get home, I have my breakfast. Mostly like I love boiled eggs, bro. Like I love boiled
Protein.
eggs. Ooh, child. Once I
My
have my
boilo.
yes.
Yeah.
Once I have my breakfast, I am by like 8. I've sat down to do my devotions, which is I listen to a sermon, I'll journal, and have prompts. It's like, what am I grateful for today? How am I feeling today, and why? What stood out from yesterday that you want to keep up with today? And that just pumps me for the day. Once I'm done with that, I make sure that I look good to also complement the fact that I feel good. So I'll have to take a nice 30 minutes, 25-minute shower, and then do my makeup, look good and sharp 100% as myself. I love listening to podcasts, and I search in specific what I'm feeling in that day and find whatever resonates with that. And an hour phone call with my mom just does it as well.
I feel like you and your mom are besties.
Boy is my,
Yeah.
yeah, she's my babe.
Cherono. Well, thank you so much for coming through. I've learned
Absolutely.
so much. I feel like I've always told you, or I don't even have mentioned this, but you come off as someone who has a really, I don't want to say tough exterior, but solid in the sense of you are almost, you're just very well packaged. But I find that when anyone gets to know you deep inside, you're just like a very warm teddy bear.
I am.
I find that very interesting, that you can show up to the world very well done, very well packaged. And now talking to you, I realize it's just a consequence of the inner work that you do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's easy to see people on social media and you're like, damn, what are they doing? They're
Yeah.
doing the same things that everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
Wellness, prioritize your mental health,
Yeah.
prioritize
Yeah.
everything that is meaningful to you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming to the Orange Connect.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed.
This is just a dope set.
Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
it. Episode, I think, 6 or
6.
something. We're done with that. Thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you for the pleasure of your time. If you enjoyed this episode, like it, share,
Subscribe.
leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you.